William Howard Taft, the 27th President of the United States, was a significant figure in early 20th century American politics, known for his judicial temperament, progressive policies, and for being the only person to serve as both President and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. His life was marked by a dedication to public service, a commitment to law, and a personal struggle with his weight, which made him a larger-than-life figure both physically and politically. Born on September 15, 1857 in Cincinnati, Ohio, Taft was the son of Alphonso Taft, a prominent lawyer and future cabinet member under Presidents Ulysses S. Grant and Rutherford B. Hayes. Growing up in a politically active family, Taft was exposed to law and politics from an early age. He attended Yale University, where he excelled academically and was a member of the prestigious Skull and Bones Society. After graduating from Yale in 1878, he went on to study law at the Cincinnati Law School, earning his degree in 1880. After law school, Taft worked in private practice before being appointed to a series of public positions. His first major government role came in 1887 when President Benjamin Harrison appointed him to the United States Circuit Court of Appeals. In this role, Taft developed a reputation for being fair and judicious, an outlook that would define his career. In 1901, President Theodore Roosevelt appointed Taft as the Governor-General of the Philippines, which the U.S. had acquired following the Spanish-American War. Taft's leadership in the Philippines was highly regarded as he worked to improve infrastructure, education, and public health while trying to calm tensions with Filipino insurgents. His success in this role bolstered his political standing and earned him national recognition. By 1908, Taft was a prominent figure within the Republican Party. His close relationship with Roosevelt helped propel him into the presidential race. Roosevelt, having served nearly 2 terms, was looking for a successor who would continue his progressive policies. Taft, whom Roosevelt believed would carry on his work, won the Republican nomination and defeated Democrat William Jennings Bryan in the 1908 presidential election. Taft's election marked the continuation of the progressive era, a period of social reform and government activism. However, while Taft shared many of Roosevelt's goals, his approach to progressivism was more cautious and less dynamic. Roosevelt was a master of the bully pulpit, using his personality and political skills to drive reform. Taft, in contrast, preferred a more legalistic approach, focusing on regulation through courts and legal mechanisms rather than direct action. Taft's presidency was defined by a mix of progressive reforms and challenges within his own party. In terms of domestic policy, Taft supported the establishment of the Department of Labor and the enforcement of antitrust laws, believing in the regulation of monopolies to promote competition. Under his leadership, the government pursued antitrust cases against major corporations like Standard Oil and American Tobacco, earning him the label of a trust buster, though he was less aggressive than Roosevelt. One of the most significant actions of Taft's presidency was his signing of the Payne-Aldrich Tariff in 1909. While the tariff was intended to lower duties on imports, it ultimately raised them on many goods, causing a rift within the Republican Party. Progressives within the party, led by Roosevelt, felt betrayed by the bill, and many believed that Taft had capitulated to conservative Republicans who favored higher tariffs. This divide led to the eventual split between the progressive and conservative wings of the Republican Party. Taft's foreign policy, also known as dollar diplomacy, focused on using economic power to further American interests abroad. This included promoting American investments in Latin America and Asia to increase U.S. influence and foster stability. However, the policy was often criticized for prioritizing corporate interests over the needs of the people in the countries involved, and it failed to deliver long-term success. Despite these efforts, Taft's presidency was increasingly marked by dissatisfaction within his party. Roosevelt, who had left the presidency in 1909, became disillusioned with Taft's leadership and broke with him over a series of issues, including Taft's handling of the tariff and conservation policies. The tension between the two men culminated in the 1912 election when Roosevelt challenged Taft for the Republican nomination. This split allowed Democrat Woodrow Wilson to win the presidency. After his defeat in 1912, Taft returned to a quieter life but remained influential in public life. He became a professor of constitutional law at Yale University and was highly regarded for his legal scholarship. In 1921, President Warren G. Harding nominated Taft to the position of Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, a position Taft had long desired. He served as Chief Justice from 1921 until his death in 1930, becoming the only person to have held both the presidency and the position of Chief Justice. As Chief Justice, Taft worked to modernize the federal judiciary, establishing reforms that improved the efficiency of the court system. His leadership in the judiciary is considered one of his most significant contributions to American government, and he is remembered for his judicial temperament and commitment to law. Taft's personal life was marked by his love of the law, his devotion to his family, and his struggle with obesity. He was a man of large stature, and his weight became a source of public attention, especially during his presidency. Despite this, he was known for his good-natured personality and his sincere dedication to his work. Taft's legacy as president is mixed. While he is often overshadowed by Roosevelt, who was more dynamic and charismatic, Taft's commitment to reform, his legal expertise, and his contributions to the judiciary have earned him a respected place in American history. His role in the development of antitrust laws, his advocacy for conservative fiscal policies, and his later work as Chief Justice have had lasting effects on American politics and law. Taft died on March 8, 1930, at the age of 72, having lived a life dedicated to public service and legal scholarship. His presidency, though not as widely celebrated as that of Roosevelt, laid the groundwork for many of the legal and political changes that would shape the 20th century.